The War Written in Ink, a werewolf story. Previous episodes are available on the playlist. You can also visit our website for your favorite stories. A link is provided in the video description. Episode 2. Jackson put his hand gently on my shoulder to warm me up. You seem upset. If it's okay with you, I thought I'd come in with you. You can talk to Maisie, and then we can talk after that. It's not too late right now, though, he said. Yeah, that's fine with me. Let's go inside before the cops get called by the neighbors. It sounds like she's being tortured, I say jokingly. Jackson laughs. When we get inside, I follow the sound of crying to the living room, where Maisie is lying on her stomach and crying into the rug. I call out Maisie, in the softest voice I can. I want her to know that I'm not mad at her and that I'm trying to get her to talk to me. She stops crying right away and looks up to see me kneeling next to her. I put my hand on her back and gently rub it up and down. Hey, why are you crying? Maisie gets up quickly and runs into my arms, which knocks me to the ground. I made a small oof sound when a 6-year-old knocked the wind out of me. Yes, that wasn't my best moment. Especially when both my mom and the guy I just went out with started laughing at me for not being strong or balanced. I quickly get better and hug her back, wrapping my arms around her completely. I start to rub her back in a soothing way, and my nails lightly scratch her back through her shirt. I'm so sorry, Kala. I promise it was an accident. I was playing D-dolls when. I can't understand what else she says because she starts to cry and blubber even more. But I keep nodding my head and acting like I understand everything she's saying. I think I need to calm her down before she runs out of tears after she cries for another minute. She could really get dehydrated from all the crying she's doing. I don't get why she's so angry. I know she broke my snow globe on purpose, but it was an accident. In all the time I've known her, I've never yelled at her or gotten mad at her. Maisie, please stop crying and look at me. Can you do that, sweetie? I say softly to get her to calm down. Maisie looks at me after a moment of heavy breathing. Good girl. Now, I want you to pay close attention to what I say. She nods her head and sniffs a little, but at least she doesn't start crying again. Moving forward. I don't pay attention to Jackson and my mom, who are standing on the other side of the room and watching this interaction but pretending to be alone. It might bother me that Jackson is watching this private family moment, but it doesn't. It makes me feel good that he doesn't want to leave me while I'm dealing with family problems. Not at all. It was just an accident, right? I say. She nods her head again, this time with more force than before. That's right. I'm not mad because you didn't mean to do it. Yeah, she croaks, her voice hoarse from crying for so long. But I broke the one from Paris, which was your favorite. I have to think fast so she doesn't start crying again when her eyes start to water again. I hold her close and crush her body to mine, rubbing her back in a calming way again. Maisie, don't cry. I'm not mad. But you're making me sad because you're sad. Thank goodness that makes her stop crying. I pick her up off the floor and sit on the couch after rocking her back and forth for a few minutes. At some point during my conversation with Maisie, Jackson and my mom moved to the couch, so I ended up sitting between them. Maisie, I say softly. She lifts her head off of my shoulder. Yeah, Kala. Can you tell me why you were so upset without crying? I've never been mad at you for anything, let alone a mistake. Did something happen today? When she frowns and looks down, my suspicion is right. She rubs her small fists against her eyes. She starts with, today at school we had to make a family tree, and my heart starts to race. When I look at my mom, I see tears starting to well up in her eyes. My mom holds Maisie's hand and tells her to keep going. A girl next to me started looking at mine when I only put you and mama on it. She said I didn't have a real family. She said I needed a mommy and a daddy, but I didn't have a daddy. He left because he didn't love me, and the rest of her sentence is hard to hear when she starts to cry again. I bit my lip to keep from crying. I'm scared to look at Jackson because I can see that his jaw is tight and he looks sad. I give him a look of shame because I know I will have to explain this to him later tonight. And when I broke your snow globe, I thought you might get mad at me and leave me like Daddy did. That hurts me. I cry a little, and then I feel a hand on my back. Jackson. He's here for me. This only makes me like him more. This family drama doesn't make him run away. He also knows exactly what I need right now, strength. He gives me that strength when he shows me that he will comfort me. I wipe my eyes once to get rid of any signs of my tears, then I stand up quickly. I let Maisie go, and then I took her hand. Maisie? You're my sister. You're my family. The family never leaves the family. That man, our father, was never our dad. He wasn't a good person, and I'm so glad you never got to see him. All the family you'll ever need is right here. I will never leave you. It would take an army to separate us, and even then, we would use our ninja skills to fight them all. I lightly karate chop her arm, which makes Maisie laugh. It makes me feel good. This little girl should be happy all the time. She shouldn't be sad and let down by our terrible father who left us. We began to karate chop each other, and when she hit me in the stomach, I pretended to fall to the ground. I give up. Please have mercy on me. I scream. I get up and take her hand after she stops hitting me. Okay, let's clean up the mess together. Then it's time for bed. Okay, she says with a smile. She looks next to me and finally sees that Jackson is there. She yells, Jackson, and runs into his legs, hugging them tightly. It was as if the last half hour had never happened, and she was back to being happy. Hey there, Maisie. It's good to see you, Jackson says with a small smile. I went into the kitchen and got paper towels and a small trash bag to put the broken glass in while they were talking. I tell Maisie to come with me. We go up, and Jackson follows. He does follow, though, after my mom gives him a little nod of approval. That surprised me because I thought she would have told Skyla not to come up after he came into my room before she knew he was gay. I guess my mom thought Maisie was a good enough block. As soon as I opened my door, I saw the broken glass on the floor. Maisie, I want you to stay right here. There's broken glass, and I don't want you to cut yourself. She nods and stays where I told her to. I walk up to the glass, crouch down, and start to gently pick up the pieces. It didn't break all the way, so most of the glass stayed in pieces. Please, Kala, let me do it, Jackson begs. He looks really nervous when I look at him in the doorway. And scared. It's okay, I got it. I can clean this up, I said as I kept picking up the glass. Jackson speaks up again in less than 2 seconds. Please, Kala. You're going to hurt yourself. I'll do it. He starts to walk over to me. Nutta, I say, holding up my finger and pointing to my bed. Sit down. I'm almost done, anyway. Plus, I don't want you to get hurt. I could feel his steel eyes on me as I finished cleaning. I did what I said I would do and cleaned it all up without getting hurt. All done, Maisie. No more mess. Are you okay now? I ask, still a little worried about her. She says, yeah, I'm fine, but her yawn makes her words sound funny. Okay, time for bed. I took Maisie's hand and led her to my door frame. I call down to my mom, and she quickly hops up the stairs. She can tell right away that Maisie is tired. Baby, let's go to bed, my mom says as she picks her up. Also, Kala, please be responsible. I'm letting him up here because I trust you and he seems like a nice young man. But if I see anything strange happening, I'll be very upset. I got it, Mom, I say quickly. She gives a nod and walks down the hall to Maisie's room, where she closes the door. I turn around and close my door, and when I do, Jackson is looking at me. While I was sitting on my bed, when the two of us were alone in my room. Why does my mom trust me again? I am standing still against the door. I don't know what to do or say. There has never been a guy in my room before. I fight my fears and decide to say something before Jackson leaves. I'm really sorry about Maisie, my mom, and this whole thing in general, I say. I didn't think you'd come here and see that. I mean, it's a lot of... My voice fades away as Jackson gets up from my bed and walks over to me. I can only watch as he stalks over to where I am by the door. He doesn't stop until he is only a few inches away from me. He doesn't leave much space between us, but because we're not touching, it looks like there is space. I think I forgot how to breathe because I took a breath as soon as he got close to me and hadn't let it out yet. Those beautiful Jackson eyes are the only thing that can tell me what he's thinking when he looks at me. Stop saying you're sorry. He takes my hand and leads me to my bed. It's funny that he's in my house and my room, and he's the one showing me around and making me feel at home. But I guess that's just who Jackson is. He sits down on the edge of my bed again and gently pulls on my hand to get me to sit next to him. But he won't let go of my hand. He holds it in his hand and lightly strokes it back and forth with his thumb to calm it down. It feels good and helps me relax even more. Breathe, Kala, Jackson whispers, and I let out the breath I've been holding. How did I not know that I wasn't breathing? It's something that all people need, but when I'm with him, everything else seems so unimportant. I don't know. I'm staring at our hands until he lifts my chin with his other hand so I can see his face. His hand stays on my skin just like it always does. I don't move to get his hand off my cheek. For a few moments, he keeps looking at me before he speaks. I'm guessing that you're scared of me being here. Oh no. How does he know? I don't know what face I'm making, so I don't know how to change it. He has no idea how fast my heart is beating right now. I nod my head because I'm afraid to say something stupid. Okay, I get it. I don't want you to be nervous around me. Pfft, like I could stay calm around him. He says, just so you know, I'm nervous too. Touch my heart. He puts our hands together and puts them on his chest, right above his heart. My hand is stuck between the warmth of his chest and palm, and for a moment, it's hard not to think about the muscles under his shirt. I don't even want to picture what he looks like without a shirt on. As soon as I calm down enough to listen to his heart, I know he's right. His heart seems to be beating at the same speed as mine. How? Why? I shake my head. You, Kala. Being around you makes me nervous. And I don't get nervous. He starts to slowly lean his head forward. I sit still and let him take the lead. The more he gets closer, the faster my heart beats and the more my head spins. When his nose touches mine, I suddenly stand up and let go of his hand. I can think more clearly when I have space. No, I say, more to myself than to him. I start to walk around my bedroom, trying to figure out why he's treating me this way. He's acting like a perfect gentleman. He is polite, kind, funny, and flirty. Why me? It just seems to come out of nowhere. We just met, and I have a lot of feelings for him that I shouldn't have this early. He's not my boyfriend, and we're not dating. And to top it all off, he's the most attractive guy I've ever seen, even in magazines and on TV. Why would he choose me out of everyone on earth who would kill to be with him? The girl who is shy and not very pretty and is still trying to figure out who she is? Jackson asks. No, what? As he looks worried and confused on my bed. You and me, I say softly, and I don't really think he can hear me, but he must have superhuman hearing because as soon as the words leave my lips, he gets up and pushes me against the dresser with his body. His Jackson eyes get bigger, so most of them are black, and there is only a small sliver of the Jackson blue that is usually there. To be honest, he looks angry. Why not? He grinds out, his jaw tightly clenched as if he's trying to keep himself calm. He holds me tightly by the waist with his hands. When his hands start to massage my sides, I gasp in surprise and then moan in a breathy way. My body is completely touching his, and I can feel all of his muscles getting tense against me. He looks at me like he can see right through me, and that makes me want to answer him and make him happy. I say, you and I don't make sense, and he lets out a low growl from deep in his throat. I've never heard anything like it before. But it is very sweet. Why did I think that? Jackson, I say again. You're amazing. You're tall, handsome, kind, and friendly. You can't possibly want to be with someone like me. Jackson cuts me off and gets even closer to me, if that's possible. Don't tell me what I want and don't want. Nothing can stop me from getting what I want, and I want you. His mouth comes down on mine before I can say anything else. He kisses me with more passion than anyone else. All I can think about is him, his hands on my sides, the cedar and pine scent of his cologne, and how well his lips move against mine. He pulls my bottom lip into his mouth, bites it gently, then lets it go and dives back in for more. I wrap my arms around his neck and pull myself closer, not caring about the risks. He tilts his head to the side, which makes the kiss go deeper. I grab his hair, and Jackson lets out a low groan, which makes me feel even more sure of myself. He wants me. Me. Before him, I kissed other guys. I don't have a lot of experience, but I do have some. This kiss was different from all the others. I've never had butterflies in my stomach before or wanted to hold on to them for hours. I have strong feelings for him, and I didn't know how strong they were until now. He kisses me to show me how much he loves me. It's raw. It's true. I can't help but believe that he wants me. But I'm afraid he wants more than I can give him. I don't want to, but I pull away from the kiss. I put my forehead against his and breathed deeply to calm down after the kiss. I talk to him while looking into his eyes. Wow. Yeah, Jackson says with a laugh and puts his hands on my back. Hey, Jackson, don't start, Jackson says. He puts a finger on my lips to stop me from talking, which really surprises me. He doesn't know what I'm going to say. That kiss was amazing, and I know you thought so too. So don't tell me I can't want you. You're perfect. You're smart, funny, and beautiful, and I really want to get to know you better. I know we just met, but I know if you give me a chance. I kissed him to stop him. It was short, more like a peck, but it worked and he stopped talking. You didn't know what I was going to say, Broody, I said, using the name I had given him. He scrunched his eyebrows. He looks like a cute puppy. Broody. I bit my lip to keep from laughing out loud. It doesn't really work, and I can't help but laugh. Yeah. That's what I call you because the first time I saw you, you looked really broody. You had a tough guy face on and I thought you were going to be mean. But then you looked at me and you looked lighter. Happier. It surprised me. I could never be broody with you, he says with a smirk. Especially when you kiss like that. I have to put my hand on my face to keep the sound of my laughter down. I'm putting Maisie to bed now, and if I'm too loud, she won't be able to sleep. And my mom will kill me. I turn my head and see that I'm up against the dresser in my room, the same dresser that Maisie knocked a snow globe off of. There are other snow globes on the dresser from all over the world, from places my mom has been for work. Maisie was right, the one in Paris was one of my favorites. There was a gondola in the middle of the medium-sized snow globe, and a couple in love was sitting in the middle of the boat. Instead of snow, there were gold flakes that fell from the top when you shook it, making a ring around the couple. You have a lot of snow globes, Jackson says. He picks up the one closest to him, which is from California. When he shakes it, the snow inside the globe starts to fall. The brown bear inside disappeared into the white, which is very interesting to watch. I have more in the closet. I started collecting them with my mom when I was young and never stopped. I could remember how old I was and when my mom gave me each one. You've really been around, Jackson says quietly as he looks at the snow globes on my desk and the other dresser. I laugh at what he said. Not at all. Jackson tilts his head a little and puts down the snow globe. What do you mean? He asks, looking at me. This is the part that makes me feel bad. I've only been to Alaska and here. I moved here a few years ago from there. I collect snow globes because my mom is a flight attendant and buys me one every time she goes somewhere. Jackson keeps looking at me, and I feel embarrassed by the attention. I start to think he'll laugh at me for having a dumb collection of things from places I've never been, but he doesn't. Instead, a soft smile spreads across his face. Okay, I guess we need to change that. If you could go anywhere, where would you want to go? If money weren't an issue. Easy, I say right away. Paris, France. I think it's really cool that they use boats to get around. It's not great for the environment, but it's still pretty. I want to see how they make those pretty glass sculptures. Jackson smiles at me the whole time I talk. After I finish my short rant, he says, "I'll take you." What? They? Oh no. He'll take me to Paris? I laugh nervously. That's a nice thought, but I don't think I'll ever get to go. Maybe after college, when I have a job that pays better than the coffee shop I told you money wasn't an issue. I'll take you in my private jet. He leans in and kisses me slowly, then puts his hands back on my hips. I want to laugh at how silly his statement is, but when he grabs my waist, the laugh dies in my throat. His hands are so big that his fingers go all the way across my back and his thumbs go all the way down to my belly button. Jackson tries to move back, but when I grab his arms, his lips curl up a little before he dives in again. I can't stop thinking about him. We met for the first time at the coffee shop and talked with Ezra and Skyla for hours. I learned a lot about him. After that, we sent each other texts. We talked on the phone for hours. He called me babe and love and touched me all over at dinner tonight. At first, I thought he was just being flirty, but now I think he really does like me for some crazy reason. My hands move up the big muscles in his arms and rest on his shoulders. I'm about to lean my head in to kiss him more deeply when Jackson suddenly backs up and sits down in the desk chair. I'm a mess of panting, but Jackson looks fine. How can he look so put together after that kiss? What made him stop? When my mom opens the door and looks around the room, she answers my questions. She sees me standing next to the dresser and Jackson holding a snow globe. Hey, Ms. Dalton. Kala just told me about all the snow globes you've given her. You've been to so many places. My mom gives him a smile. Yes, that's one of the things I love about my job. The places are so different, even at the airports. When there's a long break between flights, I get a couple of hours in the city where I land to explore. It's definitely a perk. My mom looks at me, and I smile back. Maybe it's a little too broad based on what she says next. It's getting late. I think Jackson should leave now. Okay. Just give me a few minutes, and then I'll take him outside. Okay. Good night, Jackson, my mom says. Good night, Ms. Dalton. Thank you for letting me stay at your house. My mom doesn't say anything, but she does give him a little nod before shutting the door. I'm happy and surprised that she really closes it and doesn't leave it open. She has to trust him. A kisser, I mumble to myself. Jackson smirks and looks at me instead of the door. A kisser, hey. My mouth moves, but nothing comes out. I only whispered what I was thinking, but he still heard me. How did you? I can hear very well, Jackson says. I stood there, not sure what to say. I had a lot of questions for him, so I just said the first one that came to mind. I hate what I said, so, do you have any plans this weekend? I wish I hadn't said it right away because it makes me sound desperate. For crying out loud, we just met 2 days ago. He nervously rubs the back of his neck while sitting in his desk chair and looking for the right words. I'm actually busy this weekend, that's great. He's nice even when he says no. I shake my head back and forth and try to hold back the tears that are coming. I walk toward the door, hoping he'll follow me so he can leave and I won't have to see him again. He probably thinks I'm needy and doesn't want to spend 2 days in a row with me. That was a dumb question. Of course, you're busy with other girls and stuff. Sorry, I asked. My voice breaks on the last word, and I curse myself for being so sensitive. He didn't lie to me. He never said he would do anything for me. I was just getting my hopes up. 1 minute, I'm standing by the door, and the next, I'm up against the wall with Jackson, who looks angry. He looks at me with his hands on my cheeks. Jackson frowns and wipes away a single tear with his thumb right away. His eyes are black again, and I remember that he looks like that when he's upset. He kisses me harder than before, with his tongue going deep into my mouth. This kiss makes my stomach tingle. I let him in, and his tongue goes all over my mouth. I touch his tongue with mine, and that makes him want to go faster. His hands move from my face to my waist, then to my hips, and finally to my thighs. He picks me up, and my legs wrap around him right away. My arms naturally wrap around his neck. He keeps kissing me until I can't breathe anymore. Even then, he seems to be fine on oxygen because his kisses go from my jaw to my neck and then to the spot where my neck and shoulder meet. He bites me there lightly, and I let out a moan. I don't know why that spot is so sensitive, but it's like he knew. He keeps kissing, biting, and licking that spot, and I keep feeling like I'm in heaven. He stops and then puts his head in my neck and pants heavily. He slowly puts me down and then lifts my chin with his finger. Please don't think I'm hanging out with other girls. I'm just going out of town for work, okay? I can't breathe, so I just nod. He goes on. I really want to see you, but we'll have to settle for texting and calling. I'm not talking to any other girls, and I don't want you to talk to any other guys. I smile shyly at him, and my cheeks probably turn a deep shade of pink. I nod again. He kisses me on the lips. Okay. It's done. You're mine. His possessive comment makes me smile more. It's really sweet that he wants me all to himself. And I'm so happy. I've never been this happy or light before. I give him a big hug and wrap my arms around his neck. He hugs me back and puts his face on my neck. We stay like that for a few minutes until he finally lets go of me. I should probably leave before your mom comes back. I laugh and say, you might be right. I walk him to the door, and we say goodbye. He kisses me again and then says he'll text me. I watch him walk to his car, and I don't close the door until I can't see it anymore. I was in a state of pure bliss after Jackson left last night. I couldn't stop thinking about him all night. We haven't known each other for very long, but I don't feel strange about our kisses. If it had been someone else, I might have thought our relationship was moving too quickly, but with him, it just felt right. We were also in the talking stage of our relationship. That's what people say, right? He told me not to talk to other guys, but that doesn't mean I'm his girlfriend, does it? I'm happy to learn more about whatever we are. I woke up this morning with a smile on my face after falling asleep last night. I had a dream about him last night, and let me tell you, it was the hottest dream I've ever had. I'm not going to complain, though. I rubbed vanilla body wash all over myself while I took a shower. I got dressed and then looked at my phone. I had a text from Jackson. Broody, good morning, sweetheart me, hello. How did you sleep? Broody, I had a good night's sleep. I had a dream about you. I got hot in the face when I thought about my dream, which starred Jackson. I decided not to tell him that, though. I told him what I was going to do that day, and he told me he was already in the car on his way to the airport for a business meeting. He said he would text me again later. I made myself avocado toast and coffee after I said goodbye, but I groaned when the bitterness hit my tongue. I've been treating myself to cafe coffee lately, and now I don't want to drink anything else. So, since I needed more coffee, I went to the cafe to get some after I finished breakfast and drank the last of my coffee. I know I have a problem, yes. No, I don't want to fix it. I brought schoolwork with me so I could get some work done. I had homework in all of my classes, so I could spend the whole day at Steamy Bean Cafe. Maisie and Mom are still sleeping at home, and Mom doesn't have to work this weekend, so I can do whatever I want. The walk to the Steamy Bean Cafe is short, and I make sure to pick up the pace to get out of the chilly weather. I walk by the bookstore and remember that I haven't been in there in a while. I hope to have more time one of these days. I don't have much time to myself because I have to do homework, go to class, work, and watch Maisie. As soon as I walk into Steamy Bean Cafe, the bell rings and my friend and co-worker Natalie greets me. Hey, Kala. How are you? She says in a happy voice. I'm doing well. Classes are definitely a change from my normal routine, but I can handle it, I say with a light laugh as I take my wallet out of my bag. Could I get a big cinnamon dolce latte with extra whipped cream? Sure thing. That will cost $3.52. I take out the right amount of cash and give it to Natalie, who opens the register. Oh, what an angel, she sings in agreement. I don't have to count out change. Yeah, I say with a laugh. It's so annoying when the order is $3 and the customer gives you a 20. Exactly. Natalie shouts. My job is to make coffee, not to count out too much change for you. I put my wallet back in my bag and looked around the coffee shop. There are a lot of empty tables. She says, sit anywhere you want, I'll bring it to you. I smile and say, oh, thank you. Then, I walk over to a table in the corner of the store. I like this place the best because it has an outlet and the chairs are more like armchairs. Cozy, private, and useful. I turn on my laptop and get to work on calculus. I open my textbook online to the first chapter, get my notebook, and start the first problem. Natalie brings me my coffee halfway through the second problem. I say thank you softly and keep working. Minutes turn into hours, and before I know it, I've been at Steamy Bean Cafe for 3 hours, finished 2 homework assignments, and ordered another coffee. It's official, coffee runs through my veins. The scariest thing happens as I take out my ethics notebook. When I hear the doorbell ring, I go to see who it is, and it's that kid from my ethics class. That timing is just insane, but there he is. As soon as he walks in, he sees me and waves. I wave back shyly. He walks over to me, and that's when I see that he's not by himself. A girl with the same platinum blonde hair follows him from behind. She dyed the ends of her hair hot pink, which gave her a punk rock look. Felix's clothes were dark, but she wore bright neon clothes. I could see that she had a lot of piercings. She had about 5 on each ear, a nose ring, and an eyebrow ring. When Felix got to my table, he was smiling. "Hey, Kala! What a surprise to see you here." "Yeah," I say, not sure what else to say. I don't really know how to talk to people I just met. I run out of things to say, which makes the conversations awkwardly long. But Felix easily picks up the conversation. He looks at the notebook I just put on the table, and his eyes get big. "Did you just pull out your ethics homework? That's creepy." I laugh at what he said. "It's strange. Were you outside waiting for me to start my ethics homework so you could do it for me?" I say in jest. The corner of his mouth turns up in a smile. I kept walking by this coffee shop, so I decided to bring my sister with me. "By the way, this is Elise." "Elise, this is Kala. She's in my ethics class." "Nice to meet you," Elise says as she holds out her ring-covered hand. I still can't believe this idiot is going to college, but whatever, she laughs. I say, "Nice to meet you, too," in a polite way. With all of her piercings and her blunt attitude, she seemed a little intense. I kept smiling, though, because I didn't want to judge a book by its cover. Felix looks around the coffee shop, which is surprisingly crowded. I was so focused on my homework that I didn't even notice how crowded it had gotten. "Do you mind if we sit here? I don't see any other tables open, and I want to be able to do my homework," he asks with big, hopeful eyes. I want to say no, but when he looks at me with those puppy dog eyes, I can't say no. I don't usually get work done when I'm with other people, but I'll try. "Sure," I say. "Great. I'm going to put my bag here and go order." It looks like there's a line. "Elise, I know what you want." "Kala, do you want anything?" "No," I say, shaking my head because I don't like that he wants to buy me something when I don't know him well. I insist. "It would be the right thing to do if I got you something because you let my sister and me sit at your table." He smiled in a silly way, which made it hard for me not to laugh at what he was doing. "Okay, that's not how ethics works, but it's nice that you're trying. I'll have a white mocha with extra whipped cream." "Sure thing. I'll be right back," he says. Elise sits down across from me and spreads her legs out in the seat next to her as soon as he turns away. "So, how do you know Felix?" The way she asks me makes it sound like he can't have friends or he'll get in trouble for knowing me. "Oh, we met in ethics yesterday," like he said. Okay. Felix doesn't talk to people, so that sounds a little off to me, she says, looking at me closely and making me feel a little uneasy. I was late yesterday, and the only open seat was next to him. When I sat down, I asked him what I missed in class. We talked a little more about an assignment we were given, but that was all. I feel like I'm being questioned. She looks at me for a little longer, then smiles widely. Don't freak out, babe. I believe you. It's just that I'm his twin. We've been connected at the hip for forever. He's never one to start a conversation with someone, so I was surprised to learn he made a friend. And a baddie at that, she smirks. I am not a bad person, I say. I was late once. It was an accident. I slept too long. Calm down, girl. You don't need to have a brain aneurysm. I can't put my brother's first friend in the hospital. He'd never get another one. We laugh with each other. It looks like I passed Elisa's test because she's now joking and laughing with me. When she smiles, she doesn't seem as intense. I like her a little when she smiles. Felix says nervously as he gets closer to our table, I bring coffee. There are 3 coffees and 2 hot paninis on a coffee tray. The smell of the sandwiches makes me remember that I haven't eaten since this morning, and it's already 1 in the afternoon. My stomach growls so loudly that it makes my cheeks turn a bright red. I put my hand on my stomach, but that doesn't stop the embarrassing noise. Felix and Elise make fun of me, which makes me even more embarrassed. Felix sits next to me and gives me half of his sandwich. Here. I can't take your food. You already bought me coffee. I'll go get something, I say again. It's okay. Take it. If I'm still hungry, I'll get another. I'm still kind of full from breakfast, Felix says with a smile as he pushes the food into my hand. I smile back and accept the food. I know he's lying, but it's nice of him to be so nice. I remember what Elise said. Felix doesn't talk to anyone. It's already a shock that he's talking to me and being nice to me. He doesn't really have friends, at least not according to what she said. I don't want to make him go back into his shell. We all talk, eat, and get to know each other. I heard more stories about how Felix and Elise grew up. I shouldn't have been surprised that they were twins, but I was. I thought twins were supposed to be the same, but Felix and Elise are very different. Their styles and personalities are very different from each other. Felix asks if we can do our homework together after we finish eating. I agree to work on it together as long as he does the work and doesn't ask me for all the answers. Plus, he can't just ask for all the answers because a lot of it is based on opinion. Elise looks through her phone. Skyla calls me 3/4 of the way through the assignment. Guys, wait a second. I pick up the phone on the 3rd ring. Hello. I say. Hey, Kala. What are you up to? I'm so bored. Skyla says. Not much. I'm at Steamy Bean Cafe with some friends doing my homework. What about you? Oh my goddess, I'm so bored. Ezra is gone, and I don't know what to do with myself. I can't bother him because he's still on that flight with Jackson. But now I can bother you. Can I come? Please. He keeps asking until I finally give in. I don't pay attention to the "oh my goddess" comment. Is it a gay thing? I don't know. I think it's a little weird that Ezra is with Jackson too. I didn't know they were co-workers. Okay. You can come. Yes. I'll be there in 15. Bye, Skyla. I laugh into the phone and then hang up. I look up and see Felix, who looks worried. He opens his mouth to say something, but then he shuts it again. He does this for a few seconds while he thinks about what he wants to say. I think we need to leave now. We have a family thing to do. We can't be late. Felix quickly puts his computer in his bag, zips it up, and stands up. I start to say, but Felix is already telling Elise to get up too. They both start picking up the rest of the trash. Are you sure you have to go right now? If you're not comfortable, I can call Skyla. No. I mean, it's fine. We have to go anyway. His call just reminded me. See you in class, Kala. Felix waves goodbye and walks out the door. He doesn't even turn around. Elise waves goodbye with 2 fingers and leaves Steamy Bean Cafe. She jogs a little to catch up with Felix. That was sudden. I can't understand why Felix and Elise left the coffee shop so suddenly. Maybe Felix heard me ask Skyla to come with us and got scared? Elise did say he doesn't make friends easily, so maybe he was scared to meet someone new. I really thought that Skyla and Felix would get along. Skyla was my first college friend, so I thought we could all be friends. I'm sorry for making Felix feel bad. 15 minutes later, the door chimes as Skyla walks into Steamy Bean Cafe, just like clockwork. He yells from across the store, "I'll get you something. It'll be a surprise." People turn their heads to see who the loud guy is yelling at, just like in class. The mean looks make me put my head in my hands and pray that Skyla will stop bothering me. But I don't think that's going to happen in the future. Kala? Should I be worried? Skyla asks. I look up at him with my eyebrows furrowed and my head slightly tilted. What? Skyla puts a cup of coffee in front of me and then sits down in the chair where Elise was sitting before. Are you making up imaginary friends because I'm not spending enough time with you? Because if that's the case, I will gladly clear my schedule for your mental health. The only reason I know he's messing with me is the slight lift at the corner of his mouth. Yes, they're real. I say angrily. I swear. He got nervous about meeting new people after I hung up with you and ran away. He? Skyla asks. He takes a sip of his coffee but never takes his eyes off me. Yeah. Is that a problem? I ask. I'm not sure what to think. Skyla is questioning my choice of friends. Isn't he a man? No, there's no problem. I just thought you were with Jackson, he says carefully. Skyla is making things so hard to understand. How does talking to Jackson relate to meeting a friend for coffee? And I didn't even get to have coffee with Felix. He came over with his twin sister, and we all started talking. I am. But he came with his sister and there weren't any tables, so I told them they could sit with me, I told him. Skyla looks visibly relieved after I answer. His shoulders, which were tight and raised, fell in relief, and his hand flew to his chest. "Wow! You almost made my heart stop," Skyla said, letting out a big sigh and then taking a big sip of coffee. "Why?" Skyla says, "Oh. I'm really set on you and Jackson. I thought you might have been on a date just now. Jackson wouldn't have liked it." My eyebrows go up right away, and if I were an animal, my ears would have perked up in interest. "How do you know Jackson wouldn't be happy?" Skyla smiles. "I live with Ezra. Ezra and Jackson are best friends. I know everything he knows, and I know that Jackson is crazy about you. By the way, how was last night? Did anything happen? Did you two do it?" I try to stop any of Skylar's crazy theories about the night by sputtering. "Oh my gosh, no. Not like that." "Are you sure?" Skyla gives me a knowing smile. "Something must have happened. You guys were alone for the first time, right? Are you sure you didn't just do it for real?" "Oh my god, please stop," I begged him, covering my face with my hands in shame. Why does Skyla always have to be so rude? Come on. Tell me the juicy parts. Jackson wouldn't tell me anything juicy, he just talked about how he felt. Skylar's words make me smile. Jackson didn't say anything about what we did last night. That makes me feel like he respects me and makes me trust him more. What he wants isn't just physical, which makes me happy. He would have told his friend what we did if it were. Instead, he didn't tell us the details and instead talked about how we felt about each other, not how we looked. Someone's blushing. So, tell me what happened. I told Skyla everything that happened last night. I told him about the ride home, how I calmed Maisie down, and then how we went to my room. Skyla yelled, "Yeah, baby," really loudly when I got to the part about our kiss. I put my hands over my face and groaned loudly. I guess that being friends with Skyla means I have to be embarrassed. I didn't include the part about my collection of snow globes because I thought it was too personal. I didn't have to tell Skyla everything. When I looked at the clock again, it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I had been at Steamy Bean Cafe for too long, so I said goodbye to Skyla and went home after getting another cup of coffee to go. I spent some time with Maisie and my mom when I got home. Then I saw that Jackson had sent me a text. I went to my room to answer his text. We ended up talking on the phone for a long time. He said he was bored on his business trip and wished he could be with me. I laughed awkwardly and went on with my day with my new friends and Skyla. I was worried at first that we would run out of things to say to each other, but that never happened. We talked about a lot of things and nothing at the same time. My mom yelled from downstairs that dinner was ready, which cut off our conversation. I didn't want to hang up on him, but I did. Then I ate my dinner quickly and left again. I sent Jackson another text, and he called me right back. It would be an understatement to say that I was happy. We talked until I couldn't stay awake anymore. He heard me yawn and told me to have a good night. After I hung up the phone, I went to bed right away. Once again, I dreamed of Jackson. I worked at Steamy Bean Cafe all day on Sunday. Natalie and I worked the same shift, so we talked and laughed the whole time. She made me promise to see her soon, and I didn't mind. I missed her. I was texting Jackson while I made coffee for customers and put things away in the back. He would ask me what I was doing, how my day was going, what book I was reading, or anything else he could get out of me. It was sweet that he wanted to know so much about me. I wasn't very interested, so I don't know why he wanted to know everything about my life, but I satisfied his curiosity as long as he answered questions about himself. He liked to be the one asking the questions, that's all. When I asked him if Ezra could come with him on the business trip, he said that Ezra was his business's vice president. I wanted to learn more about his business, but he said he had to go to another meeting when I asked. He told me he would come home on Monday morning and have a surprise for me. I was very nervous when Monday finally came. And it's not because I've already had 3 cups of coffee. And it's not because of all the sugar in the huge amounts of whipped cream that came with the 3 cups of coffee I drank. The idea of seeing Jackson made me happy. I couldn't stop smiling all morning at Steamy Bean Cafe, even on the short walk to psychology. Wow, what's making you smile like that? Skyla asks with a knowing smile on his face. Are you going to make me say it? I say under my breath. Okay. I'm looking forward to seeing Jackson. Aren't you looking forward to seeing Ezra? Skyla laughs like a crazy person. Oh, honey. I said hi to him this morning. Again, and again, and again, and again. Oh my gosh. Stop. I don't want to know. I yell. I push my hands as hard as I can against my ears to block out Skylar's bad words. I could only hear him laughing softly. Thank goodness the lecture started soon after that, so I didn't have to hear about what Skyla and Ezra did in their bedroom. Just thinking about it made me feel bad. Today's class was about Ivan Pavlov and his idea of classical conditioning. It was actually very interesting, and I wrote down my notes in my notebook at a very fast pace to keep up with the professor. I wrote down notes about unconditioned, neutral, and conditioned stimuli with one of my 1,500 pens. I also wrote about how his dogs would drool at the sound of a bell. After we are done, I put my bag together and throw it over my shoulder. I can't stop thinking about texting Jackson when I get home. What kind of surprise did he mean? Skyla puts a hand on my shoulder to stop me from leaving the room without him before I can run home. I look up at him to see what he wants. He asks, "Do you have any plans for today?" My heart sinks a little. No, I don't have any set plans, I tell him truthfully. I didn't tell him that I wanted to see Jackson again later. That would make me look too hopeful and needy, which I didn't want to do. Good. You have plans now, he says with a smile. The sun warms my skin as I walk on the dead autumn leaves on the grass. It felt like the air conditioner was on the icicle setting, and I shivered as the warm sun warmed my frozen fingers and the rest of my body. I forgot for a moment that I was talking to Skyla because the warmth felt so good. What plans do I have? I ask myself nervously. I trust Skyla, but he can be a little troublemaker at times. I wouldn't be surprised if he played a trick on me right now. I've heard stories about his past pranks, and none of them are good. Those plans. He sticks his chin out and tells me to turn around. I turn around slowly, and when I see Jackson leaning against his matte black Tesla, I get excited and my heart starts to race. I don't think he's supposed to park in front of the building like that, but he doesn't seem to care because he leans casually against the hood of his car like it's the most normal thing in the world. He has on a plain black t-shirt and ripped black jeans. He looks like a dark angel as he leans against his car with his arms crossed. His black hair is pushed back in a messy way, but it still looks great. His muscles are so thick and bulging that his arms look like tree trunks. As I smile, he slowly starts to smile too. I swoon inside. His Jackson eyes light up when I run over to him. When I say walk, I mean speed walk. I don't want to look too excited to see him. As soon as I can reach him, he pulls me closer and wraps his huge arms around me, making me feel warm. You don't need the sun if you have your own heater. I put my head on his chest and he puts his head on my neck. He seems to enjoy doing that, so I can't stop him. After we have our moment, I pull myself away from him so I can see his face. Hi, I say with a shy smile. He gives me a smug smile because he knows how he makes me feel. Hey, love. I missed you. My heart races and my head spins. Why you did? I say. I peek up at him through my lashes, and Jackson runs his hand through my hair, resting his palm on my cheek. Yes, I did. I couldn't think about anything else but you. Ezra got mad at me for spacing out or being distracted while texting you, little one. I was so embarrassed that my jaw dropped. I was keeping him from doing his job. I'm sorry, I didn't know I was keeping you from important things when I texted you. You shouldn't have someone pushed a single finger into my lips, which cut me off. Stop, Kala. I wanted to. You're more important than any meeting, he said with a smile. He slowly pulled his finger away, and his eyes seemed to focus on my lips as he bit down on his own. I want to kiss you, but not with all these watching. I quickly turn my head, and sure enough, there is a small crowd around us. I quickly stepped back from the crowd, partly hiding behind Jackson's big body. He growls at the few people who are looking at us when he sees that I'm uncomfortable with the attention. Keep moving, or I'll rip your eyes out of their sockets so you can't ever watch her again, he says. In a matter of seconds, the crowd breaks up. If I were anyone else, I would be scared and maybe even peeing my pants right now. But his authoritative voice sends a warmth straight to my core. I try to relax by tightening my thighs, but it doesn't work. If his pupils are getting bigger, Jackson has already turned around and seen me. He gently takes my hand and leads me to the passenger side of his car. Let's go before I have to do it right here against my car. The ride to our unknown destination is short, only about 15 minutes. I don't get to use the car very often because my mom and I share it. Because of this, I've never been able to see the towns around here. She drives to work most of the time, and I only drive when I need to do errands or get groceries. Jackson is going the wrong way to town, which I've never been to before. I'm really looking forward to seeing where he's taking me because it's not close enough to walk to my house. I'm so excited that my knee is bouncing up and down in my seat. I can't stop smiling. I'm with a cute guy who says he has a surprise for me. I've never done anything this exciting before. Baby, Jackson laughs and puts his hand on my knee to stop it from bouncing up and down. Calm down, we're almost there. Sorry, I say, but I'm not really sorry. Where are we going? I ask him with big, excited eyes. He said in a teasing tone, not telling. I really don't know where we're going. We drove out of town, and now it looks like we're in the next small town over. He drove us through a lot of dirt roads to get here, and if he hadn't been driving, I would have never found it. It took so many turns to get here that my head spun, and it almost seemed like the town was made to be hard to find. He drives for a few more minutes before pulling into a parking space. The ground is covered in small white pebbles, and there is a big park all around us. Families are playing frisbee, eating at picnic tables, and spending time outside in the sun. A big forest surrounds the park, and my eyes are assaulted by a sea of greens and browns as they take in the new surroundings. The sun shone down on us and made everything look golden, which gave it an almost otherworldly quality. The wind was light, but it smelled great, like wild flowers and freshly cut grass. The dandelions spread out across the grass. The wind broke them up into a million pieces, and the white pieces floated through the forest before I lost sight of them. Jackson comes around and takes my hand as soon as I get out of the car. He has a small gift box with a pretty bow on top in his other hand. I can't help it, my face is starting to hurt from all the smiling I'm doing today. I point to the gift in his hand and say, "Is that for me?" I told Jackson that lavender was my favorite color, so he wrapped it in that color. Of course. You'll get to open it later. He gives me a smile that is so beautiful it makes my heart stop. Which my heart almost does. I squeeze his hand as we walk toward the edge of the parking lot, where a big truck is parked. Thanks. You didn't have to get me anything, though. I feel bad. He gave me something, but I didn't have anything to give him back. I wish he had told me so I could have gotten him something nice. I wanted to. I hope you like it. Of course I'll like it, I tell him with a smile. You got it for me, so I'll love it no matter what. He stops walking and turns to face me. He lets go of my hand, and I'm sad for a second, but then I feel warm tingles all over my face. He holds my face in his hands and kisses my forehead softly. The warm feeling makes my eyelids close. I sigh in happiness. Being close to him makes me happy. He keeps his lips on my skin for a few more seconds before taking them off. Then he looks at me with a face I can't read. I have no idea what he's thinking. His lips move, and he whispers something that sounds a lot like "You're perfect," but I'm not sure. He breathes in deeply through his nose, lets it out through his mouth, and then grabs my hand again. Jackson leads me to the big truck parked in the corner of the lot. When we get closer, I see that it's an ice cream truck. I might have made a small noise. I jump up and down with joy and then give Jackson the biggest hug I can. I love ice cream. I probably sound like a kid who is excited about dessert, but I can't help it. And I know it's going to taste 10 times better because it's from a truck that sells ice cream. Jackson laughs at me, but it's not a mean laugh. It sounds more like "I think you're cute." As he hugs me back, his free hand presses against the small of my back. I thought you'd like it. We walk over to the truck just as the people in front of us get their ice cream. The little boy, who looks to be about 9 years old, stares at Jackson with eyes as big as saucers when he sees him. He doesn't move at all before bowing his head as if Jackson were a king. The boy's silliness almost makes me laugh. When I look at Jackson to share our laughter, I see that he is staring at the boy with a stone-like face. Jackson has never looked at me like that before. It's like he's a different person, cold and mean. After paying for the ice cream, the boy's mother turns around. When she sees her son and Jackson staring at each other, she looks very pale. "Colin!" The mother quickly grabs her son by the shoulders and pulls him behind her. She protects her son like a shield, keeping him safe from harm like Jackson would hurt a child. "I'm sorry, Al, I mean sir. He didn't know. I'm so sorry." The woman keeps saying sorry to Jackson, but when she looks at me, she stops. Her eyes get bigger, just like her son's did a few moments ago, and she starts to shake and back away slowly. I look at Jackson and try to figure out why she's so upset. It's clear that Jackson scared her and her son, but why? Even though she said some strange things, I can't let her be so scared for no reason. I reach out and take her hand. I can see the sweat on her forehead and the fear in her eyes when I touch her. "Ma'am, are you okay? I promise he won't hurt you." I start to walk her to the nearest bench so she can sit down. She really looks like she's going to pass out. "Come on, let's sit you down. You look a little faint." We get to the bench, and I slowly lower her to a sitting position with her son next to her. "Do you want some water?" She shakes her head back and forth, but I won't listen to her. "Okay, hold on. I'm going to get you some water. I'll be back soon." I walk back to the ice cream truck, where Jackson is still in shock. He is looking at me with a sparkle in his eyes. He has a small smile, but it's hard to see. "Broody," I scold him, "you scared that poor woman. Let's get our ice cream, but I want to give her some fluids." He looks at the woman and then gives me a short nod of approval. I order my ice cream in a sprinkle cone with 2 scoops of cookie dough. Jackson orders 5 scoops of different flavors in a cup. He also wants 3 waters. Jackson just raises his eyebrows and laughs when I try to take out my wallet to pay. He says, like I'm going to let my girl pay. I get embarrassed. We walk over to the woman, who seems to have a little more color in her face. "Here you go. Take your time drinking it." The woman smiles at me in thanks. "Thanks a lot. You're very nice." I smile at her and then look at Colin, the little boy. "You're pretty." He comes over and hugs me, and I hug him back, but I'm a little hesitant. I love kids, but I just met these people and they're being so nice to me. People you don't know usually don't hug you right away. When Jackson pulls on my arm, I pull back from the boy who is once again hiding behind his mother. I look at Jackson and hope he gets that I want him to be nice to the people he scared. He smiles at them, but it looks more like a grimace. Then he says goodbye and drags me to another empty picnic table. I don't talk about the strange meeting, instead, I focus on myself as I slowly lick my ice cream, which is already starting to melt in the hot sun. Anyway, when can I open the gift? He lets out a sigh of relief because he is glad we aren't talking about what happened. I think he knows who they are and doesn't want to talk about it, but I don't want to push it. He'll share what he wants to when he's ready. He smiled and pointed to my cone, saying, "You can open it when you're done with your ice cream." I mumble, "Crap," as the chocolate drips out of the cone and onto my hand, which makes it sticky. I start to quickly lick the bottom of the cone to stop more ice cream from melting on my fingers, but it doesn't work. My whole hand is covered in melted ice cream, and most of it has dripped onto the grass below us in just a few more minutes. Jackson had a feeling that my ice cream experience would end badly because he had gotten 10 extra napkins. I put the cone down on a napkin and held out my hand to Jackson, which was covered in chocolate. "Help," I whine in a pathetic way while looking at my hand. Instead of wiping my hand with the napkins, Jackson gently grabs my wrist and brings my fingers to his mouth to leftovers off of them. I don't know what to say, so I just sit there, shocked and a little turned on, as he licks and sucks the ice cream off of my fingers one at a time, never taking his eyes off of me. Suddenly, I feel hotter and try to stop the pain that is building up between my thighs by tightening them. What? I stutter, unable to put together a clear sentence right now because I'm so upset. Jackson just smirks at me, like he knows exactly how bad my thoughts are. He leans over and whispers in my ear in a low voice, "I can't wait to taste you. The ice cream was sweet, but I bet you're even sweeter." That's all. My heart burst. I'm dead. Dead. My cheeks are hot and burning. His comment makes me nervous, but I really want to know what he's talking about. The most I've done with a guy is kiss him, which is what I did with Jackson. I really want to do these new things with Jackson, but I'm not sure I'm ready for what he's talking about yet. Even though we have a strong connection, I don't know him very well yet. He backs away from me until our foreheads touch. I instinctively close my eyes because my feelings for him are too strong to fight. But not yet. I know you're not ready. He closes the space between us and kisses me sweetly. I kiss him back with all the strength I can find. I want to hug him and pull him closer, but I can't because my hands are still covered in ice cream. Instead, I press my body against his, and as he pulls me closer and kisses me more deeply, a low rumble comes from deep in his throat. When we finally let go of each other, I'm breathing hard, and Jackson looks like he wants to dive in for more, but he stops himself. Instead, he pours some of the water on my hand and then wipes it clean with the napkin. He throws away our trash and then takes my hand and starts walking toward the woods. Jackson? The car is that way. I point to the other side of the street, where his car is parked. Don't worry, love. We're not going to my car. This way is the second part of our date. There's more. I smile. He nods and pulls me along. We walk in silence, and it feels good until we get to a place where the trees stop. I can't help but stare in awe at how beautiful it is. Jackson, this is so pretty. The first thing I notice is the blue-green lake that sparkles and looks like it goes on for miles. There was no clear path through the forest, but when I walked through it, an opening in the trees showed me a beautiful view. The way the sun shines on the water makes sparkles that are so bright that it's hard to believe they're not man-made. But the best part of Jackson bringing me here is that the picnic is already set up perfectly. There was a checkered picnic blanket in front of the lake, and on top of it was a brown woven basket. This setup is so perfect that it could be in a movie. I don't think I deserve the nice gesture, but when I look at Jackson, all I can feel is gratitude. He looks so weak standing here, like he's never been so open with me before. I can tell he's worried about what I think of his gesture, but I can't reassure him right now because I can't talk. My eyes start to water, and my bottom lip shakes. I try to hide my feelings from Jackson by covering my face with my hand. He smiles a little and his eyes soften. So, I'm guessing these tears are happy. I can only nod, which I do, and my head is probably moving up and down so fast that I look like a bobblehead. He wipes away any stray tears with both of his hands on my cheeks, and then he puts his forehead against mine. It's perfect, I say, then I hiccup as I try to get my act together. I say the picnic is great, but what I really mean is that he is great. No guy has ever tried to get to know me better than just a little bit. I used to be a loner, but Jackson has helped me open up and become more outspoken. He has also been very nice to me in the short time I've known him, and every time I see him, I want more. Jackson kisses me on the lips and then on the nose before taking my hand again and lowering us to the ground to sit on the blanket. I thought we could have dinner and watch the sunset over the lake. I know we had dessert first, but I thought you might like it. If not, we could wait until later to it's my turn to stop him from talking. I quickly lean over and put my hands on his shoulders to keep myself steady while I kiss him with all my heart. I put all of my feelings of thankfulness, happiness, and awe into the kiss, and he kissed me back with joy. He puts his hands on my waist and holds on so tightly that it almost hurts, but that's exactly what I need right now. To show him how happy I am, I need to be closer to him. I think Jackson is about to take things to the next level, but my stomach decides to show off the sounds of a whale's mating call. I wish the earth would swallow me whole right now so I don't have to deal with this shame. I quickly pull away from the kiss and open my eyes wide. I pull away from him, but Jackson won't let me go very far. He keeps laughing as he pulls me into his chest, where my face is hidden in his neck. I can feel his laughter vibrating through his chest, and it only makes me feel worse. He laughs and says, "You're cute," then lets me go and starts to open the picnic basket. He takes out a big silver thermos and gives it to me first. As soon as I open it, the most wonderful smell comes out of the bottle: coffee. It smells like sugar and cinnamon, and I blow on the steam right away to cool it down before I take a big sip. Is this cinnamon dulce? Jackson looks at me sheepishly and stops looking for food in the basket. I don't really know. I remembered that you liked coffee, but since I don't drink it, I asked Skyla to get some for you. I hope that's okay. It's great. Anything with caffeine and sugar can't be bad, I tell myself. He nods, looking relieved, and starts to take out cheeses, sandwiches, and fruits. I keep thinking he's done emptying the basket, but like Mary Poppins' magic bag, more stuff keeps appearing. He looks at me with furrowed brows when he's done. "Just so you know," he says, "I didn't do any of this myself. I got help from other people. I can't cook or prepare food or anything, so yeah. It's so nice of you to do all this for me. To be honest, I can't really cook either." I take a piece of cheese and put it in my mouth. I like to pretend that I can, but my mom loves to remind me that I almost burned the house down when I was 12, trying to make her a surprise breakfast. The smoke alarm woke her up instead of her phone alarm, which was quite a surprise for her. We started talking and laughing while we ate and looked out at the view. As usual, Jackson made fun of me while I was making a mess of the food. I pouted until he felt sorry for me and kissed me. I still got flustered when he kissed me, but it got better and better each time, if that makes sense. The sun is just starting to set when we finish eating. The sky is a mix of bright pink and orange colors, and I can't think of a better date. I lean my head on Jackson's shoulder and watch the sun's reflection in the lake. Suddenly, I sit up and smile at him. I almost forgot the gift. At first, Jackson gets tense when I move away from him so quickly. But as soon as he sees how happy I am, he laughs a little and hands me the gift from the other side of the blanket. I smile at him with a lot of teeth before diving in and tearing off the lavender paper from the box. I'm not nice to the gift because I'm so excited to see what's inside that I rip the paper right away. I feel bad that I messed up the wrapping job Jackson worked so hard on, but only a little bit. Finally, I open the box and see a little snow globe inside. The base has a Canadian flag surrounded by ceramic plants and a mountain scene. Inside the globe is a red and orange maple leaf. It looks like one of those cheap souvenirs you can buy at the airport or in a tourist shop. That's what my mom always brings me back from her job as a souvenir. As I look at the priceless gift, I don't even try to stop the tears from falling down my face. Ugh, I'm crying again. I laugh dryly as I wipe the insides of my eyes in a failed attempt to stop being such a baby. I'm definitely an ugly crier, so this is perfect. Jackson. I look into his eyes, and they look like they are glowing in this light. He looks at me like I'm the most important person in the world to him, which is a nice thought but not true at all. I don't even know how to. I try and fail to finish a sentence to show how grateful I am for this. He clearly remembered that this was a tradition that my mother and I kept up, and he was nice enough to think of me while he was gone and add to my collection of useless globes. He'll never know how much it means. I basically jump into his arms, and he is so surprised that I knock him over and he ends up lying on his back on the blanket with me hugging him. When he twists out from under me and rolls so that he's on top of me, I scream in shock. He plays with a strand of my hair, then gently tucks it behind my ear and smiles down at me. I love how excited you are for a cheap trinket. Just wait until I buy you diamonds and pearls and jewels. He kisses me before I can say how silly and overblown his claim is. I grab the back of his neck right away, and the snow globe on the blanket next to us is forgotten. As he keeps kissing me, Jackson puts his hands on my waist. But his hands don't stay still. They go down to my hips, then back up to my thighs, then back down again. They go up my sides, across my back, and then back down again. I can feel the heat from his hands. The friction is like a burning pleasure against my skin. Still, he is polite and doesn't touch me. I want to tell him it's okay, but I'm too scared and inexperienced to say anything. And what if he doesn't want to? I grab his silky black hair with my own hands while his hands are moving. I really wanted to know if his hair was as soft as it looked the first time I saw him. Yes, it is. His hair is smooth and soft, with no greasy gel in it. Whenever Jackson held me tighter in a certain spot, I would tighten my grip on his hair, which always made him groan and then moan. I finally decide to take a chance and shyly move my hands to his shoulders and down his back. When I trace Jackson's hard, tough muscles, he makes a breathy sound. His tongue goes right into my mouth, and my tongue meets his in the middle for a fight for control, which he always wins. Jackson's kisses go in a perfect order: bite, lick, and then do it again. As he keeps attacking my mouth, my brain turns into a puddle of mush. Not that I'm complaining. I can't even remember my own name right now. I thought I felt great right now, but that's nothing compared to how I feel when I feel something hard against my stomach. At first, I don't think anything of it, but when my nails dig into Jackson's back, the hardness jerks forward. That's when I understand that it's his thing. I stop. I've never felt that before. This is something I've never seen before. It's not bad, in fact, it's pretty good. But I don't really know what to do next. Does he think I'm going to have sex with him now? Jackson sees that I'm hesitating, so he stops kissing me and backs away to look at my face. Hey, he whispers, looking worried. We won't do anything that makes you uncomfortable. As I look up at Jackson, who is looking down at me, my teeth sink into my already swollen lips. I nod, then kiss him softly and say, "Thank you." We kiss for a little longer, but it seems like the hardness only gets harder the more we kiss. I move around a little to get into a different position, and Jackson groans and lifts himself off of me. I'm sorry, I can't help it. Look at you, you're beautiful. His blue Jackson eyes glaze over as they look at me. My clothes are wrinkled and my hair is a mess from lying down. I blush and try to push down the hair that is probably all over the place. Then get even more embarrassed. I feel something wet on my cheek and reach up to touch it. What is more, drops hit my face, clothes, and arms, and then I know it's raining. I give Jackson a quick look, and then I start to pack up the supplies. He just takes my hand, tells me to get the snow globe, and then we run through the trees, back the way we came. Jackson says he'll send people to clean it up, which sounds strange to me, but I'm not too upset because I'm trying to stay dry. The tree's canopy gives us a little break from the sudden storm, but as soon as we get to the park, we run to his car. We are both soaked, as if we just got out of the pool, by the time we close the doors on the Tesla. Oh my God! I shiver as I look down at myself, which is wet. It's not fair that I have to look up at Jackson. Why do I look like a wet rat, and he looks like he's ready to take pictures? His hair is soaking wet, but it still looks good. I look down at his black shirt, which is sticking to him like a second skin. It looks like Jackson sees the same thing about my clothes because his eyes get almost black. It's strange how his eyes always seem to change. I don't think it's normal, but I'm too embarrassed to say anything. What should I say? Hey, Jackson! Are you a vampire? Your eyes change color a lot. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he were one. He's that perfect. Jackson reaches into the back seat and pulls out a pair of joggers, 2 new shirts, and a pair of sweats. I have dry clothes if you want to change. I promise I'll close my eyes. I just don't want you to die of cold. I don't even ask him why he has 2 full outfits in his car because it's such a nice thing to do. I don't want to think about why they're here. I give him a shy smile and give him a black shirt and black sweats. He turns his head and shuts his eyes while I get ready. I know it's gross, but I'm not going commando, so I decide to keep my wet underwear on and take off my bra. I tell Jackson he can look again when I'm dressed. His eyes move up and down my body, which is now covered in his clothes. His eyes are focused on me. He clears his throat and quickly looks away, as if he just woke up from a trance. Then he starts taking off his wet t-shirt. Oh my! I quickly cover my eyes to hide his body, but I can't help but see his six-pack and all the crazy defined muscles I don't even know the names of. I really do appreciate them, though. Jackson laughs in a rough way, but he keeps changing until he is also in dry clothes. He takes my hand and pulls me close, kissing me slowly as he enjoys the moment. We say goodbye, and I smile as he holds my hand tighter. He leaves the parking lot and drives back to town. I grab my phone out of my purse without really thinking about it. I haven't looked at it since before we got ice cream. I am freaking out completely because I see 20 missed calls from my mom and a bunch of colorful texts telling me to get home. I'm in big trouble. Oh my God! I'm dead. Jackson, she's so angry with me. Right now, Jackson is speeding through the empty streets to get me home to my mom, who has been calling me for the past hour. I lost track of time because I had such a great day with Jackson. It's 8:30 right now, and my mom is supposed to start work in 30 minutes. It takes about 30 minutes to get to the airport from my house, so she will probably be late. I'm such an idiot. I forgot that she wanted me to watch Maisie tonight. I don't usually have plans or work on Monday nights, so I didn't think much of it and figured I would be there to take care of my sister. I didn't think about this amazing surprise date that Jackson had set up. I sit bent over with my elbows on my knees and my face in my hands. This is the worst I've ever messed up. If my mom misses work, she might get into a lot of trouble with the airline. As soon as I got her messages, I called her. She yelled at me on the phone, asking why I hadn't answered her. Of course I said I was sorry, but she just told me in a stern voice to get home before she grounds me for life. I know I'm 18 and an adult, but I'm still living at home while I go to college. The rules are her house, her rules. She pays for my food and shelter, and I work to get extra school supplies and spending money. Jackson says, she'll be mad at first, but she'll forgive you. He is still holding my hand, which is a little sweaty. I can feel my heart racing as I think about how angry she'll be with me. My mom and I don't argue. Never. We don't always agree, but we've always respected each other and never had any big fights. She hasn't done anything but yell at me since my dad died. No, you don't get it. She could lose her job. I had one job. I had to watch my sister so my mom could work to pay for food. I'm so selfish. I rubbed my temples and tried not to cry. I could feel the pressure behind my eyes, but I ignored it as I beat myself up more. She'll be on time. The weather will delay the flight. And look, we're almost on your street, he says with hope. When I looked up, I could only see Jackson. It was raining so hard that I didn't know how Jackson could see 2 feet in front of him. The heavy rain hit the car, so instead of a tense silence, I heard the sound of water hitting his car from different angles. As he turns, I can barely see my house as he pulls into my driveway. I say thank you quickly and get out of the car. Then I run through the puddles in my front yard. I knock on the front door and hope my mom will answer before the storm kills me. By the time she opens the door, I'm shaking like a leaf. She sees me shaking and opens her mouth, but then quickly closes it and frowns as she lets me in. My mom is already dressed for work and has her purse on her shoulder and her car keys in her hand. When she's mad, her frown lines and light wrinkles stand out more, making her look older. And she's really angry right now. I was going to ask why you forgot your duties to this family, but now I see why. It's him. She stares at the driveway where Jackson's car is parked. He didn't leave the driveway until I was inside. Mom, it's not his fault. He was so nice today, so don't blame him. I defend him and try to keep Jackson on my mom's good side. If my mom didn't like him, that would lead to a lot of problems. You're never going to forget. And when you meet him, you stop spending time with your family and forget about your job at home. You're distracted. He's not a good influence on you. Look at what you're wearing. His clothes, Calla Dalton, she yells, taking a step toward me. Tears fill my eyes as I listen to her. She has to realize that this was an accident. I would never intentionally make her late for work or ignore my family. She opens the Velcro on her umbrella and heads for the door before I can even say anything. I'm really late. I can't talk to you right now. We'll talk about this later. I jump when she slams the door. I lock the door behind her and watch through the peephole as she angrily gets into her car and drives away. I'm a little worried about her driving in this weather. Her boss should think she's late because of the storm. I walk over to the brown couch in the living room and see Maisie fast asleep. The colors of the TV show Finding Nemo on the wall reflect off of her sleeping body. I turn off the TV, pick her up, and take her to bed. When I get to her room, I'm out of breath, which is a sign that I should probably go to the gym. But I won't. I drag my feet to my room after putting Maisie to bed and plop down on my bed. I look at my phone and see that Jackson texted me 3 times, asking me to call him when I can. I send him a quick text to let him know I'm okay, even though I'm not. He tries to get me to tell him things, but I just say I'm tired and not in the mood. I feel bad for ignoring him after our amazing date, but I just want to be alone and wallow in my own misery. Jackson tries to call me, but I put my phone on silent and sink into my mattress. I hope my mom can forgive me for what I did wrong tomorrow. This week, Jackson texted me every day to see how I was doing. He was very nice to think of me after the terrible fight with my mom. He kept telling me that she would say sorry and things would go back to normal. I can say that things haven't gone back to normal 4 days later. I haven't heard from my mom all week. She went to sleep before I could see her when she got home from work very early on Tuesday morning. She usually left funny notes for me to read on the counter in the morning, but that morning there was nothing there. That morning, I took Maisie to school and then went to class right away. My mom wasn't home when I got home. The rest of the week went the same way, and I didn't see her for more than 5 minutes. When we did talk, she was very short with me and kept glaring at me, making it clear that she was upset. I decided to leave her alone. I already said I'm sorry, so now I think it's time for my mom to understand that she overreacted. I'm nice, but I'm not a pushover. I won't keep saying I'm sorry for something that was an accident. I finally made it to the end of the week, which has been the longest one of my life. I had a nice, quiet morning at home by myself before heading to my ethics class. I had time to stop for coffee on the way. I have 10 minutes to spare when I get to my ethics class. I look through the rows until I see a head of platinum hair and walk over to it. When I finally sit down next to Felix, he stops reading and gives me a big smile. I try to smile back at him, but it doesn't reach my eyes. Felix looks unhappy. He leans forward and asks, "Are you okay?" "Yeah," I say, trying to sound normal. But it comes out short and sad. "What's wrong? You don't sound okay." "It's nothing. I just had a fight with my mom and we haven't talked since. It's upsetting." I rub my face with my hands and smile on purpose. "It's fine," I say again when Felix still looks worried. "What's not fine, though, is what happened last week. I don't have your number, so I couldn't apologize, but I really wanted to. I shouldn't have invited Skyla without asking you first. It was dumb and selfish, and it probably made you feel really bad." "I'm sorry," I say, taking a deep breath after my long apology. Felix raises his eyebrows and puts his hand over mine, which is resting on the arm of the chair between us. "Kala, you don't need to say sorry. I was the one who left so quickly." I nodded, and for the first time that day, I smiled. "I'm glad you're not mad at me." He laughs and then slowly pulls his hand away from mine as he takes his notebook out of his bag to get ready for the lecture. "But there is something you can do to make it up to me." I couldn't breathe when I looked Felix in the eyes. The way he's talking to me makes me think there is a spark of something in his eyes. Sure. What is it?" I say. "You have to go out with me. It's easy." My eyes pop out of their sockets. I choke on my spit and start to cough a lot because I am so shocked by what he said. "Go out with him? Going out? What would Jackson say?" Felix pats my back to help me get some air back so I can breathe normally. The coughing fit gives me a few more seconds to think about what to say. I drink some of my leftover coffee to clear my throat after I stop coughing. "Do you want me to go out with you? Just the two of us?" I think Felix could tell I was nervous, so he quickly changed his request. "No. Not just the two of us. Elise is making me go to this new 18+ bar. She says it's all the rage. I don't want to go alone. Will you come?" He looks both hopeful and desperate at the same time. He keeps looking at me with his eyes, and he pouts his lip and bats his lashes quickly. He has that full-on puppy dog look that makes it very hard to say no. "I don't know," I said, not sure how to answer. Bars aren't really my thing, which is completely true. It may sound strange, but one of my favorite things to do is sit on my window bench and read. I can sit there for hours and flip through pages and pages, going to different places and meeting different kinds of people, all from the comfort of my own bedroom. Those places and people are made up, but I like it that way. You close the book and eat pizza rolls instead if a character bothers you. Please. Felix begs. He takes my hand and squeezes it hard. I don't want to go with Elise by myself. I would feel a lot better if you were there too. I look at Felix and then down at our hands. I shake my head slowly and then let out a breath. When were you planning to leave? I ask. Felix's face lights up with a big smile. Tonight. And it would only be for a few hours. I could pick you up at 9. I don't know Felix very well. I don't know his sister very well either. Felix, on the other hand, looks at me like I'm his best friend or something. He really wants me to go with him. I want to say no right away. I should say no and stay home to try to work things out with my mom. Her magnetic calendar on the fridge says she doesn't have to work tonight, so now is the time to get over this dumb fight. But isn't this what college is all about? Going to bars, meeting new people, and being social on Friday nights? I can't stay home all the time. And with all those thoughts fighting in my head, I do something I probably shouldn't do. I agree. I silently cursed the gods for making me go out with Felix and Elise tonight. Why do I put myself through this? I am too nice for my own good. Join our Facebook and WhatsApp group for more updates, link is given in description. Rest audiobook will be continued in next episode.